You're with Julian on the Brown Note and a review of the Oscar nominations as a discussion on last year's terrible year for filmmaking, really. So, the big story was Sinners with a ridiculous number of nominations. I'm not personally surprised that it got a lot of nominations. I just think it's been excessive because when I reviewed the film, and I gave it 7 out of 10, the technical mastery of Ryan Coogler as a director is off the charts. Like the cinematography, the editing, the sound, the music, everything on a technical level was definitely going to get nominated. And then from the elevation of Ryan Coogler as a director, I just think that, you know, he's been held up a lot more than he deserves. So, like, I've been doing reviews online for ages, and I did Fruit Fuel Station, gave it a 9 out of 10. Great film. It's the only film he's made that I would call great. So I think I gave 7 out of 10 to Creed, Black Panther, and this one, Sinners. And I said when I reviewed it, the first half of the film, I'm not the only person to say this, but the whole speakeasy joint and the clan and everything building up was fantastic. And then the vampires arrived, and it all turned to hell. It became generic slop. So I don't think that it is. It might end up hoovering up some awards, but comparing it to One Battle After Another as an artistic achievement in original filmmaking, it isn't in the same league. So I haven't seen hardly any of these on there. So good to see The Secret Agent in Best Picture because it's a foreign language film. Begonia was my second best film of the year. I think it's a lesser work by Lanthimos, though it probably doesn't have the flaws of his massively big films like Poor Things. But still, I thought it was a great film. I gave it a really good review. Not seen Train Dream. I'm really happy. Everyone's complaining about F1 being in there. Well, when I reviewed them, I gave Sinners a 7 out of 10 and F1 an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a really great old school, widescreen, mega budget sports film. Really good fun. 2.5 hours of just fun. And it looked great. I'm not surprised it's in there at all. Not seen Frankenstein, which is sad because that's a Del Toro film, or Hamnet. And it's great to see Chloe back after the debacle of the film The Eternals, because it really seemed to hurt her. She was off the back of Nomadland, which was to date the only film I gave a 10 out of 10 to on first release. One Battle After Another was my film of the year, and I said it was a very boring choice because it just wasn't a year for classic films, and I thought that was the only one. I would love Paul Thomas Anderson to win for that film. I don't know what sentimental value is. Best Actor, that's a really bad one for me because I cannot stand Timothy Baby-cham Chamalet. Like, he was very passable in Call Me By Your Name, where he had to play a 15-year-old twink. But he seems to be playing a 15-year-old twink for a very long time now. I thought he was absolutely atrocious in June, but it feels like every year there's this huge, last 2 years, there's been this huge industry push to get him an Oscar. They did it with the Bob Dylan thing, and now they're doing it with this. I haven't seen Marty Supreme, so I don't know, but I find him off-putting to watch. I find him lightweight, and saw someone saying that he's the next Marlon Brando. You look at Marlon Brando at the same age. I don't think so. Now, Leonardo DiCaprio has now been in more Best Picture nominated films than any actor, I believe, other than Robert De Niro. Something like 12. He's his own worst enemy. A lot of people who are great actors over time that don't get rewards, like Brad Pitt, get their Oscar from being Best Supporting Actor. He's cursed with being the eternal leading man. And the fact that he's nominated he's got such good skill when it comes to choosing what movies he's been in. He nearly gets nominated for Best Actor every single film he does. The majority of films he's done in this century, he's been nominated for Best Actor. So he's his own worst enemy, because when the voters come to vote, they'll just say, well, it's Leo, isn't it? He's just going to get nominated in 2 years for another film. So I think he's his own worst enemy and won't win. So I'm really scared that Timothy Chalamet... Michael Jordan was not Oscar-worthy in Sinners at all. He was perfectly fine, but he wasn't great. I I really hope Wagner Moura or Ethan Hawke win. So Wagner Moura is up for The Secret Agent, and he's the guy that played Pablo Escobar in Narcos, and a great actor. I wouldn't mind seeing him win at all. But Ethan Hawke, was it First Reformed or First Redeemed? It was nearly my film of the year a few years back, and it was one of the most horrendously overlooked films by the Oscars. Ethan Hawke could have easily won Best Actor Oscar for that film and didn't get a nomination. So I would love Ethan Hawke, who's been great in virtually everything. Best International Film, I mean, it would be great for The Secret Agent to be the likely winner, but the voice of Hind Rajab about the girl being massacred by the IDF in Gaza, it would just be it would be nice for that to win. Best Actress, Emma Stone's not going to win it. She's just won it. She just gets nominated every year. This is a big problem I have with the Lanthimos films. Like she's got 3 or 4 nominations for Lanthimos films. 2 years running, Jesse Plemons deserved an Oscar nomination for Lanthimos films and got nothing. So Kinds of Kindness wasn't a great film, but his performance in 2 of the segments of that were Oscar-worthy. His performance in Begonia was worth the nomination, and he's much better than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan? That sounds like a basketball player. And I don't know the other ones, but I really hope Rose Byrne, who I adore, wins. That would be amazing. Best Original Song, who cares? Animated Feature, I still haven't seen any of these. Supporting Actor's an interesting one because Teyana Taylor's got the nom here. A lot of people were saying the young girl in One Battle After Another was the standout. I don't think so. I thought she was really good, but I don't think she was anywhere near as good as Teyana Taylor, who had a brilliant character. She was only shown in the first half hour or so of the film, but her character was amazing. So was Amy Madigan in Weapons. And the Best Supporting Actor, I think One Battle After Another should have read the room here and kept Benicio del Toro out, because I think Sean Penn would have had a really good shout for winning, but now he's in a 5 nominations and 2 of them are from his film, so they're going to split the vote. Benicio was superb, but they should have left him out because he's never going to win. He was quite a small character in the film. Sean Penn is the guy that would absolutely ruin anything by chewing up scenery, gets a scenery chewing role in One Battle After Another and doesn't. He's superb in that film, but Stellan Skarsgård wouldn't mind that one either. I'm going to get into the last song soon. Best Director, Chloe Zhao for Hamnet has got a few ups and downs here, but it's great to see her back. Coogler for Sinners, I mean, they could start sweeping the board. Look at The Green Book. That was a 7 out of 10 film that won lots and lots of awards that he didn't deserve. Safdie, Marty Supreme, I loved Uncut Gems and Good Times, and that was both of the Safdie brothers. Heard mixed reports about Marty Supreme. Just want Paul Thomas Anderson. Paul Thomas Anderson is the most naturally gifted artistic director this century for me, in that band of people like Christopher Nolan and David Fincher, who've won very few Oscars, actually, when you look at it. But for me, he's, is the best film of the century. There Will Be Blood? Maybe. I think he deserves it. He really does deserve it, particularly for going outside his comfort zone and making a thrilling action film. Probably the most original film of the year, given its style, its vibe, the way that it was made and edited and put together. I just thought it was a really, really great film. I would love him to walk off with a very deserved career, long filmography where he's made even his, is a lesser film by Paul Thomas Anderson, The Master, that's still outstanding. I thought Inherent Vice, which is the closest film to One Battle After Another, was outstanding. So I'll leave it there, but yes, that's my briefish roundup. So